food and cash to victims of the flood disaster in Maiduguri, especially those who are now returning to their homes as water recedes in the area. Governor Babangida Zulum says the support became necessary as most of the victims have lost their means of livelihood. Senior reporter Jesse Tafida has details.
It's now a week since waters from Alo Dam damaged over 50% of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. More than 1 million people have been affected and thousands of homes have been submerged. Now that waters are receding, victims are having more access to their homes. But government is not letting them go empty-handed. Food and cash is being given to each household as they go back.
The basic need for now is food items. Non and non-food items. In fact, the food first, then some few things, especially sanitary pad and some few things for women and some clothing, maybe thereafter. But for now, the most immediate need, their immediate need is food. That's why government is putting more efforts in seeing that everybody have access to food first before any other thing, food and water. It entails our collective support for the government to relieve the sufferings of these people. Despite the fact that the flood is not within my constituency, but we have to collectively come and support the government and then help in whatever means we can be able to do.
Each household registered at the camp willing to go back will be supported, while government will continue to provide food to those in camps. It also promised to provide more support to those who are going back as time goes on. Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
Residents of Edo State expressed readiness ahead of the Saturday 24 September governorship election, and we are following some updates as the official countdown kickstart. Theophilus Elema has details.
The atmosphere in Edo State is beaming with excitement as residents of Edo State eagerly await the opportunity to choose their next governor. The three frontrunners are slugging it out at the poll, asking residents to give them an opportunity to serve. But residents believe that this election will be a watershed.
I want to believe that, talking about security, I think on that very day, I don't think anything of insecurity will happen. Despite the fact that the security in the country will know the way they are. But I want to also believe that it will be peaceful.
I'm really hoping and clearing for everybody to not just stay at home and expect change. It's when we come out in masses, that's when we can be able to decide who rules us. Sitting at home doing nothing or just believing that it's going to be the same process every time will not move this nation forward. I love Nigeria. I'm a good citizen. In my next life, I would like to come back as a Nigerian.
In separate interviews, both the APC and the PDP believe their candidates will coast home to victory.
We believe if God is on our side, we don't need INEC, we don't need the security agencies. You know, two people that we need is God Almighty, and they are two people. And we are confident that what we have done so far, God will support us because God looks at the heart. God sees the heart and he realizes that our candidate means well for Edo State. Edo people know Monday Okpewolo. They don't know the candidate of the PDP. You know, they are still trying to sell him.
I don't think they would be so dumb as to finger PDP and say PDP is distributing anything to induce people. Everybody knows Governor Obaseki is the most financially prudent governor in Nigeria and has used legal processes to prosecute all the impediments he had met in his political race. Aswa Ighodalo is one of the most respected bastions in the corporate industry. And if you ask everybody, they will tell you one uniform testimony about him: his integrity.
As Edo residents gear up for the elections come September 21st, one thing is on their mind despite the political differences, that they want a free, fair, and peaceful election. Theophilus Elama, TVC News, Edo State.
Theophilus joins me now for more on that story. What's Benin like 3 days to election day, and how are the political parties ramping up activities?
Well, Nifemi, the atmosphere in Edo State is is that of expectations. Many residents are expecting a free, fair, and credible election, just like what you heard in the report that was just played. But as it is, Edo is peaceful, calm. And of course, we see that party candidates are using every means to whoop the Edo residents to vote for them. Earlier today at Ring Road area, we saw that, even yesterday, we saw that vehicles are moving all around the city with some speakers blaring candidates' jingles and all of that, talking to the people with that medium to vote them into power, for them to get a chance to put forth their manifestos and ensure that Edo is great again. And many of them believe that their might will be able to be brought to bear, such that they will bring prosperity to Edo residents, and that's the mindset that these political parties are with, and Edo residents are looking at these candidates, and of course looking out for the day that they will use their thumbprint to vote in the candidate of their choice, which is Saturday. And of course, some residents we spoke with also said they do not expect that there will be violence. They expect a violence and rancor-free election and free, fair, and credible election. We've spoken to some of the candidates who are optimistic of their victory, and we're supposed to speak with Aswe earlier and on the 10 o'clock news today, but we got information that he was still on campaign ground across the creeks and he hasn't gotten into town yet. But once we get to him, we'll be able to get his thoughts on the developments in Edo State and, of course, talk about his plans for Edo State. But by and large, residents are ready for the elections come Saturday.
What's security like with, the rising tension reported among political parties?
Nifemi, please, can you repeat the question?
What's the security situation like in Benin?
Well, the security situation is like in other elections where we see lots of security personnel around. In Benin City, the state capital, we don't see that around, and that's probably because Edo residents have owned this process and have decided that this election will not be full of riots, but it will be rancor-free. But the police command is doing all it can to ensure that the Edo election is rancor-free. They're ensuring that at every campaign that we have heard about or we have seen in Edo State so far, we have seen that the police are ensuring that every political party has a fair chance to campaign without hoodlums coming around them to disturb the campaign and all whatnot. So the security arrangement is quite tight, and by tomorrow we're going to be seeing the joint operations between the police and the Nigerian army and getting their thoughts on the development and ensuring that they discuss with us on their plans for the elections come Saturday.
Theophilus Elama live for us in Benin City. Well, we earlier advertised an exclusive interview with the PDP candidate Aswe Godalo. Unfortunately,